Hello, hello. Welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. In today's video, we are doing another show and tell from BeeBeeCraft. And in today's video, we are going to be playing with these vellum pockets. I have a couple of ideas, but you know, I'll try to stay on task. So the number on this, I still have the packaging, and I do apologize, in the skeleton video, I did not have the packaging numbers for the brads or the dies themselves. So this is CARB A00501F, and so that looks to be the number. I'm not sure, but love these, love the size. They're fantastic. They measure, do they measure, Jody? If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me. These measure approximately 4 1/4 by approximately 5 5/8 tall. So the depth of the pocket is approximately 4 1/8 for what you can put in there. It looks like, yeah, about 4 1/8, depending on what you're wanting to put in there. So a very nice size to sit on a journaling page. So if we were to, you know, fold, you know, if you're in the US and you're using US letter size and you have an 8 1/2 by 11 folded, that's going to fit on there quite nicely. So yeah, a very nice size. I'm happy with them. What I want to do is kind of make a variety here. So I'm only going to show you the one with this napkin technique, and then I want to try to stamp on them, and I'm going to try to heat emboss on one of them, and I don't know how the vellum will take the heat embossing, if I'm being perfectly honest. So with this, I really like this guy with the top hat. I think he's a lot of fun. So he's who I'm really wanting to get on here. So I think I'm going to try to center him, and these upside down skulls, while they're driving me crazy, I just think it's going to be a fun piece to have in a Halloween journal. And I don't know what's going on with me in Halloween this year. My friend and I were discussing it, and I'm like, I am totally into Halloween this year. So I want to get some glue on the front, and I'm using glue stick. The thing with vellum is when you get vellum wet, it does wrinkle. It does some really funky things. So I just want to, I'm not worried about getting all the way to the edges. When this is dry and I'm able to tear the napkin up, I want it to be kind of rustic and rough, and I don't know about if grungy is quite the right word, but I want it to be a fun piece. It's going to be a fun piece. So let's do that. And then I'm going to gently, how about get all my spots. You guys know you can tilt in the lighting, and that will let you see where you have missed getting glue on your bits, because I'm doing, you know, clear glue on the vellum pocket. It's a little bit difficult to see. So I'm hoping for the best when I set this down, hoping I get him in the middle and work from the middle out. Now, there's two different things with napkins. Of course, you can do a wet glue and then put wet glue over, and that's going to make it more translucent, where I actually just want the image. So we're going to set that one aside and let it dry. I'm not even going to do anything with it until that one dries. This one, we are just going to wing it. And some of them, like this one, I think I'm going to do the flat side of this, because some of these we could actually tuck into pockets, right? So I want to try to heat emboss on this, and we'll see what happens. I wanted to use my flourish stamp. Ooh, or another idea is, how fun just to do some script stamping on it. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to use my foam. I'm going to use my Versamark, and we're going to choose a color of embossing powder that speaks to us today to see what we can do with it. Oh, how just about some black glitter? Let's see what happens. let's just see what happens. Oh, do I want to do script or do I want a different one because I'm doing that? I changed gears due to the size of this. Okay, I have my flourish stamp here. This is a Hero Arts from Hobby Lobby. I got it on clearance a long time ago. This is a very well-loved stamp for sure. Just using my Versamark, trying to get good coverage of my ink. And then, as you guys know, when you're using Versamark on your stamps, please, please, please make sure you clean them. You do not want to leave the Versamark ink on your stamp. So I'm gonna press down on that. Okay. Get a good, squish it down. I'm probably going to get gold transfer. No, I actually didn't. I'm surprised because I'm terrible about leaving gold on that stamp. Okay, so there's that. I want a scrap piece of paper that I can use. This is fine. I have, this is black sparkle embossing powder. And hopefully my vellum doesn't melt. I don't think that the vellum will melt, but there's only one way to know. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be gorgeous. Yeah. So a little bit of cleanup that needs to be done on it. So I'm gonna get the extra cleaned up. And because I don't want all this extra to melt on here, I just want the design. And then I'll be back. I love that. I couldn't get it all completely cleaned up. It just didn't want to come off the vellum. So I think I'll try another one with the static block on it. But that is absolutely beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful design. And I just think, I mean, you could use that even in Happy Mail. Put something in there for your friend. And what a beautiful piece of packaging to receive a gift in. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So that's one way you can dress up these envelopes. You know, and then you can seal it. You can put your address label on that side, even if you wanted to mail in it. Just be mindful of, you know, what you're putting in there so it's not too heavy or fragile to go through the mail. But that would be so wonderful. And then it would be a reusable piece for somebody to get. Even if you're packaging something, it's still a reusable piece if you embellish it. So that's beautiful. So that's going to get set aside. And then I want to try something else with them. So let me get this embossing powder mess cleaned up. And I do think that if I try to emboss again, I seldom use the anti-stick thing, but I think on those I'm going to need to, just with the way that powder really wanted to stick to the envelope, which is a good thing. Or yeah, I mean, that's a really good thing, not a bad thing at all. You want your embossing powders to stick. So anyway, I will dig in my stuff and see what else I want to use these for, and come back. But man, I am in love. Love, love, love it. So pretty. Okay. Okay, so I have a piece of music paper glued in here, and because it's vellum, you're going to see the glue. But it's not too bad on this one. I didn't do a lot of glue, and just enough to hold that in place. Okay. And then I have this piece. So I want this to show. This is going to be like a pocket, right? And then I need like a Christmas label up here, but I don't have my Christmas stuff out. So just know that eventually there's going to be a Christmas label there. I have my little mouse that I've used my Spectrum marker on, Spectrum Noir Sparkle. And I've just done a little bit of the mouse to accent him. Is that showing up in the light? There we go. Because, you know, it's Christmas. We have to have glitter, right? And then I've cut a little piece of it's wide ribbon, and I've cut it down to just be a small strip that's going to go underneath here. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is going to fit nicely. I've kind of, you know, worked this tool around a little bit. And so once I get him on here and kind of where I want him, I'm going to kind of cut a little bit of this off. That's a little bit much. And I don't like how like straight this edge is. So I'm just kind of changing the shape of that a little bit. You're not going to see all of that once this is down because the snow is going to be at the bottom, right? But he's just going to be a super cute little piece to put in a pocket. And or to have as a pocket. You could put it in a pocket because I do have the glue on the back side of that. Although it's the Barely Art glue, it's actually, I had not tested that yet. It's not showing through onto the vellum, so that might be onto something there. Okay, so just kind of get him down where I want him to start with, right? And press him down because I want the 3-in-1 to go through this glittered tool. And this was something from the spring collection, a Hobby Lobby I got on clearance last spring when we were in Florida. And then this piece I'm going to put down here. So he's kind of like standing in the snow. He says, hey, I'm waiting out here. I've got some presents for you. You want to let me in? And then let's cut that edge off so I can get that fluff showing. And the fluff has gone all over my table. So I am going to have to pause after this and clean up the fluff from cutting that in half. But I love this ribbon. It's so fantastic. But so here's just another way that you can use one of these wonderful vellum pockets. Like, I love it. And then, like I said, once I have my Christmas stamps out, I can make a label for this. You know, it's curled because I got glue on it, so I wiped it off, which is what vellum does when it gets wet. Like if you coffee dye it, it does that. It's just part of it. But there's our little mouse pocket, right? So that things can just slide right in there. That's going to be cute in a Christmas journal. Okay, so what else can we do with these pockets? I'm trying to do something a little bit different on each one to showcase the various ways you can do them. So we've heat embossed, we've just embellished, we have the napkin is still drying. I don't want to touch that yet. Oh, I know, I just wanted to do some fun stamping. But again, I have to clean up because I've made a mess here, so I will be right back. Okay, so the last thing I want to try is just simple stamping straight onto the vellum. So I have just a background stamp here. I have prepped my envelope and I have it taped to the sides with a little bit here because my stamp is a little bit longer than the envelope, and I have it laying so that it should hopefully, in a perfect world, it will be kind of evenly kind of even on here, so that way the borders will be relatively even if I did it correctly. And what I did not do is prime this. I have not used this stamp yet. Is that even inking? It is. Nothing like just sticking it straight on your skin to see if it's working. I cannot see that ink to see if it's even getting on my stamp. So let's see, is it? Oh yes, very, very faint. So hopefully this is just archival ink and it's the Hickory Smoke, which is a very light gray. It's a very nice color. So I'm thinking by doing it in the gray, it could either go in a Halloween journal or it could go in a winter journal. Of course I could do it with brown, and I could do it with any color I want. You can do it in vibrant colors, but the moral of the story is let's see how it stamps today onto the envelope. And I'm trying to be very careful not to move too much. I just want to get some nice even pressure on the stamp. Okay, let's see what we get. Dun, dun, dun. Nothing. Very little. Because that ink is too light. So, but is it straight on there? It is on there. I mean, you can see it. It's very, very light. And I think that's actually too light for what I want to do. Although that's a great color. Should put my lid on my glue here. So let me think for just a quick moment here what I want to do. Well, we're certainly not reinventing the wheel, are we? So let's just use what we have here available. I'll just do the black and just go for it, right? I do like that gray color though. I think that if I wanted to sit here and take the time and continue to re-ink and stamp it, it would come out really, really nice. But, okay. Okay, I'm digging it. I'm liking it. Let's see what we got that time. Oh, much better. A much better print. Now, that's really wet, so I want to heat it. Oh, and I stamped it upside down. Really? Sure did. It's all right. We'll never know once we decorate it, right? Oh, I better write on the back of that stamp. I was reading it upside down, I guess. Oh, well. The moral of the story is that you can stamp on these envelopes and it's fine. So let me heat dry this super quick and then I'll come back and show you. But it's just a really great way to add some more interest to these. Okay, it still needs to dry a little bit. It's still wet. That's a really wet ink pad. It's fantastic. But you can see that we have a really wonderful background to work with. And now when we embellish this, however we embellish it, we have a great background to work with. Then if I wanted to make this like a double tuck on a pocket, you know, I would just stabilize this flap with a book page or something. And that adds a little bit more interest to it. And then that stabilizes it to be a tuck, you know. But fantastic way to add some interest to these. Basically, they're like coin envelopes. So we have that one. We've done our Christmas mouse on it. And again, that is curled because I got it wet. But I love it with the music in the background. So then when we put a tag in here, let's see. Do I know I have some tags here, just a blank, unembellished one. So when that goes in there, then whatever we put behind the mouse is going to also show, but you pull the tag out and then the music shows behind there. And that's the great thing about vellum. You can see through it. But vellum is a fickle product to work with. As you can see, it does not like to get wet. So that's example number 2. Trying not to smear that. Example number 3 is the heat embossing that you can do to them. And again, I would strongly encourage using the anti-static on there because you can see I got a little bit of extra on it that I didn't particularly need on there, but it's there. We have it. It's fine. And that's not true. I don't mind that it did that. And then lastly, we have our napkin here that we've done. So I do want to try to get the excess off. So that way we can see like what it's done. And I'm only using the napkin, just, it should be completely dry, but I just want to give it some assist for tearing here. Let's see what we can do. Let me get it torn off and then I'll come back. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, zoom out just a smidge here. Okay, so we have our mouse, we have our stamped background, we have our embossed background, and we have our napkin background. I did go around, I did use my water marker with my ruler because it was, I wanted a cleaner edge than just tearing it because I just really wanted it to be a cool bit on our page. I love it. And then I have, you know, maybe a little piece here that not that one, but even this piece here, I may just put that at the top there just for some interest on the flap. I don't know yet, and I won't know until I actually go to put these in projects that I'm working on. But again, a special thank you to BeeBeeCraft for allowing me to work with your product. I think hopefully this showcases 4 different ways that you can utilize these little coin envelopes. Of course, the options are endless. You're only limited by your own imagination. Please do remember that in the description box below is a coupon code for 10% off. So if you visit BeeBeeCraft, please make sure you use that code. Number 1, it saves you money. Number 2, it lets them know that you went to them because you saw their product on my channel. So anyway, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's makes, and the seasons are all over. We've got Halloween, we have Christmas, we have neutral. I was going to go into spring and everything, but I think by just doing the 4 different techniques, you get the idea, and it would be redundant if I just continued to make with these. Because I've shown you 4 different ways to use them. If you have a different technique that I have not shown you here, please do share that in the comments. I know that we learn from one another by reading comments, and maybe you've got an idea that I'm not displaying here. Maybe it's an idea that would also help somebody else in their makes. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate the time that you choose to spend with me. Thank you, BeeBeeCraft, for allowing me to play with your products, and I will see you all in the next video. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.